Hi, and this is the Whoopsie Weekly vlog, and it was supposed to be in week 8. We're now at week 9. In actual fact, today is 2 months post-op. I'll tell you what happened in a moment, but let's start with what has been happening. So let's begin at the beginning. What does walking look like? This video was recorded on the 14th of December.
Go.
Then we've got the bike. This, along with the swim, as you know, is one thing that motivates me the most. Now, I've been going into work and sitting on the spin bike, and here is how it's gone so far. I started off with the seat 5 higher and had to pedal and go, ow, ow. And then after a wee while, I managed to get it down one, down one, down one. I spent 45 minutes on a bike one day and got it back down to the same height as I always sat at it. So I was pretty chuffed with that. Here's what that looks like. Then we've got physio. So physiotherapy involves sitting on the bike, and she's asked me to sit on the recumbent bike because apparently she thinks it's harder than a normal bike. Rower, which really wasn't too much rowing. There was not very much legs going on, but it's almost a full stroke now. But it's really difficult to video when you've got your phone in one hand. And leg press, leg curl. What else? Walking up and down steps. So that's what this looks like. And then the other day, I wondered whether it was possible to actually kneel. Depends who you ask. Some people that are dealing with my knee rehab have said that it is, and some people have said that it's not. So I needed to find out for myself. I want to know if it's possible. Let's find out. Possible. I can kneel on that knee. I'm not sure I would want to kneel on this knee for long or on a hard surface, but that's my body weight. And then, because I've been getting so many questions and people following me all over the place that are having a knee replacement or have had a knee replacement, I decided to build a website. Now, the purpose of this is a knee rehab resource, and the reason is that I couldn't find one myself pre-op, and I want to be able to create something that people can refer to if they're on a knee journey of their own that has come from someone who's actually done it. The advantage for me is that I know what sorts of questions to ask when I see medical professionals. Your average Joe blogs during the day wouldn't actually know quite that much. I'm not saying I'm a surgeon, no way, but I'm using what I know, what they've told me, what I've asked, and my own personal experiences to build a resource that people can refer to from here forwards. Here's the link. And then we had the consultant's follow-up. Now, this was supposed to be 6 weeks out, but it wasn't. It was 8 weeks out. And here is what he said. Now, I've always had lots of questions and a couple of disagreements with my physiotherapist. I actually don't think she's pushing me for enough. And the consultant agreed with me. He said that I need to take it beyond what is comfortable, and I need to shed a tear or two in order to be able to break up the scar tissue and get the knee bending. He wasn't too happy with the fact I'd only got to 100 degrees. When I showed him, he reckoned it was only 90 degrees and said that it really should be further on than that. I agree, because everyone else that's in my knee class is doing better than I am, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Me? No, because I don't think they are pushing themselves to the point of screaming and crying, but I don't know what the answer is. So he told me I needed to push harder. So that's what I'm going to do. He also discharged me, saying he wanted to do a 12-month follow-up, and didn't want to see me between now and then. That's quite a long time when you've only just had the operation. He said that I was good to go for anything I like apart from running. Now, I did ask him about this, and he said that there are some people that would say running is fine. He personally doesn't think so, and his reasoning was as follows. When you run, there's a lot of impact goes through your knee joint each time your foot lands on the ground. And there's a lot of mechanisms in the knee, and lots of different types of cartilage and medial meniscus and all sorts of things. The medial meniscus in a knee replacement is plastic, and if you are doing like little micro damage to your knee, to your joints, like you do all the time, plastic pieces don't repair. So he said that a knee, to a degree, would have some sort of self-repair, but an artificial knee does not, and so that's why he reasoned that running was not a good idea. So tell you what, I don't want to see him anytime soon, so I'm not going to run. But everything else is sweet. That's fine. And he said the swelling, it was completely normal. Right down to the ankle sort of swelling was completely normal, and could carry on for a year. Great. I don't mind a swollen knee, but I'd like it if my calf was the same size as the other one and the circulation was working the same. Speaking of which, I asked him about the circulation and I know about how the circulation works and how waste fluids all go through the lymphatic system, blah, blah, blah. Lymph nodes are behind your knees. I know all of that, and that's why your bruising was on the back of your leg. However, I asked him about the muscle aches and said that I was getting more muscle aches than I was getting any other types of aches, and the actual knee was fine. He said that that is because of the waste fluid buildup in the muscles in my calf and ankle that isn't being distributed back through the lymphatic system as fast as it should be because the system is sluggish. I also asked about being seated at a desk, how just a few hours of that makes it swell, and he said that bending your knee like that blocks the system from passing the waste fluids back through, and so that's what will interrupt it and make it back up and swell up and stuff like that. All makes perfect sense when you know the answer. Then what else did he say? Oh, the pain. Yes. Now, when I'm bending my knee, I feel like I'm going to tear something. I feel like I'm going to bust that patella tendon or something when I'm trying to bend the knee, and that's what stops me. He told me that that was not the case, that it's actually scar tissue that's causing the pain, and that I'm not going to break anything, bust anything, tear anything. It's perfectly fine. I have just got to grit and bear it and work through it. Doesn't sound too nice. However, at least I know that I'm not going to break anything, which is what was restricting me before. We talked about the bike, and we disagreed on the bike because he doesn't think, he thinks that I should be able to ride the bike and I should just put the seat up. Now, anybody who knows about bike fits, he said, yeah, but you don't put the seat up to the max height. But with a time trial bike, you put the seat up almost to the max height and your leg is almost fully extended. So I think the bike is going to have to wait a wee while. I did put it on the turbo trainer and try it today. No cigar. So what I'm going to do is pinch the spin bike from work and bring it home. And what I'm going to have to do is extend the seat down below the normal seat height until that's comfortable, and then try the godforsaken bike again. So that's what my plan is so far. Because he'd said that I should go up a level, I went to hydrotherapy that afternoon and said, right, we need to dial this up a difficulty. What can I do to make this more hard? She gave me single leg squats. Hydrotherapy single leg squats, pool supported. However, my quad has been hurting ever since. Man. So yes, I'm on single leg squats now. And I started in the deep end of the pool and I was doing these single leg squats and my other leg was out behind, and then I was using the level of the water. My chin reached the level of the water as an indication of how deep it was. And then if that was all right, I moved along a bit to make it more shallow, and I kept on going. And when I got to a point, accidentally of course, where my other leg that was holding out behind actually touched the ground, and I thought, I wonder if I can do some lunges. So I tried it and it was great. I managed it and I was really quite surprised with operated leg out forward. So then the next time I was in work, I thought, I wonder if I can do them on dry land. And I could. Yippee. So the next thing I need to practice on dry land is step ups. Because it's my mind that's stopping me. My leg will go up a step, my brain will not. So here's what I've been doing to combat that. And then the thing that knocked the rails off this week was a really long-standing client of mine called Rachel. And she came to me right after she had battled cervical cancer and had come out of radiation therapy and was really, really weak. And I used to go to her house and do personal training with her. And we got her right back to fitness again. She'd been a client for a number of years, and then just recently she started having pain in her leg and she couldn't figure out why, and she'd 8 months or so of going backwards and forwards, and they were telling her there was nothing wrong. And I randomly texted her the other week, a few weeks back, because I hadn't heard from her for a while, and I heard that she'd got cancer back again. This time it's stage 4 cancer, and it's, as well as stage 4 cervical cancer, it's also a spinal tumour, L4, in the psoas muscle, which explains the hip pain, and it's also invading her kidney. Rachel's been given just 12 months to live, and she is up in Dunedin at the moment having chemotherapy. The first week of chemotherapy made her actually really, really sick. She's just starting to come right a bit after all of the anti-sickness drugs they gave her and stuff like that. But this current round of chemo is to try and stop the tumours from invading further. Her next round of chemo is to try and extend her life expectancy, but it's only partially funded by the government, and the other part she has to fund. At the moment, that second round starts on the 15th of January, and she is $25,000 short of being able to fund that. Now she's got to give a little page, and with the cash that's in that as of today, she's still 10 grand short of what she needs to fund that. Now, Ride Into Health are going to do a number of fundraisers for her in January. But if you have got a bit of spare cash and you're able to donate it, I know that Rachel will be grateful, because at 32 years old, it's really not fair when you get told you may not see your 33rd birthday. She had been planning to come to the next Relay for Life, which is 2 years from now. If her second round of chemotherapy works, she might make it. If she can't afford to take the whole round, she might not make it. So her Give a Little fund at the moment is actually literally a matter of life or death. I went to visit Rachel this week up in Dunedin, and that's where I have been, and that's why this video is late. So I appeal to you, if you've got a wee bit of spare cash, you can donate in any country, and here is the link below to donate to Rachel. So today, 22 months exactly post-op. I'm not feeling all that chuffed, but I'm slightly chuffed at the same time, because I can now swim perfectly fine. I'm having no trouble. I'm knocking out 80 lengths, that sort of thing, although today wasn't so flash. But my leg isn't giving me problems like it did beforehand. It's just the godforsaken bike that still eludes me.